So of course, I went ahead and maximized as much of this garden area as I can to add these perennials. So I bumped out this border bed, as you can tell, my several red markings here, but the outermost red marking is where I'll go ahead and end this border. All right, so it came out a few more feet, so I'm roughly dealing with, I want to say 5 to 6 feet. Let's get the tape measure, guys. So I'm making sure that I measure from behind the marking, because where the marking is where I'll have the border material. So now I have 4 feet play from behind that border material up to, I want to say, where the drip line of that crocus rose will end. So I gave that crocus rose roughly 2 feet in each direction for the drip line. So we have 4 feet to play with in the front. So that allows me to decide what types of perennials I'll go ahead and put in the front of the border based on their mature sizes. Some that I have on the list are my tried and true, which are catmint, Shasta daisies, also iris, not bearded or German iris, but I think it's versicolor, because I'm also using that type in the adjacent bed where I removed those 4 crocus roses. So adding that same type and color on this side will kind of add continuity. They'll both bloom at the same time, and it forms cohesiveness between these 2 garden beds. So those are 3 perennials already I mentioned: the iris, the Shasta daisy, and the catmint. So I like the spiky nature of the veronica, the blooms. So those will work well with the spiky leaves of the iris. The Shasta daisy and the catmint, they'll work together because they're both clumping perennials, even though the catmint is a lot lower and tops off around 12 inches. The Shasta daisy gets to be about 18 inches, in some cases almost 2 feet. The iris, they get to be about 18 inches to just under 2 feet. And so I'll have those on the outer areas of the bed. Let me turn this camera around. And then on the outer sides of this clump of perennials, for the Shasta daisies, I'll have a clump right here. And I'll have another clump over here. And that yellow and white or cream will play off of the color of the crocus roses. And so then on the outer edges of this bed, so I'll buy as many as I can, will be the versicolor iris. So I'll have iris on this side, that corner of the bed, probably 5 total. And then on this corner back here, I'll have about 5 total. And so that'll create a nice tapestry of lower growing perennials. And all the colors will kind of play off of one another. Now, you're probably asking, what's the bloom cycle of most of these perennials, right? So I know for a fact that the iris and the catmint, they bloom early to mid-spring, right? So that'll be my early to mid-spring coloring. The veronica is kind of like late spring throughout the summer. And the good thing about the veronica and the catmint is you can cut them back throughout the season, throughout the growing season, to increase that bloom activity. Then the Shasta daisies will bloom early summer to midsummer, and you can play around with that too. With the Shasta daisies, you can give them a Chelsea chop, which is late May, and that'll delay the blooms, and then the blooms of the roses will repeat throughout the season. So I'll just be sure to stay on top of deadheading them and keep that interest going throughout the whole season. So I was going to go ahead and do some placements of nursery cans. I'll go ahead and collect some cans and put them out, or I'll tell you what, I'll just go get the perennials, and then when we come back, you'll see where the placements are. All right, so here's a rough sketch. I always do a little sketch. Just kind of gives me, keeps me in line. So the arbs back here, the roses right here, then 4 feet, as you can see, of play in the front of the bed. Catmint, dead center in the front. Veronica on either sides. Veronica, I decided to put a clump behind the catmint, so kind of forming a ring around the catmint, a step up of blue or purple, because that's the bloom colors of the Veronica. Actually, I just put the Veronica out there. I put a clump in the back, so I'll show you that shortly. The Shasta daisies on the either side to break up the blue, and then the iris on either side of the bed, of the border. So let me show you the Veronica. Guys, don't laugh. So I picked these up at Ed's Plant World. And, you know, this is just how these perennials look at this time of the year. So I think one of these have blooms. This one right here. So here's the bloom color of this Veronica, all right? So that's what we're looking forward to. A nice violet color. So that's that clump back there, and that's 7. I know I put 5 on the paper, but that's 7 back there. So I need to go get, probably I'll do 3 on either side of the catmint. I'll do 3 on either side. So I'll put 3 over here and 3 over there. You get the picture. And this is what designing a bed is about. You know, you take real measurements and you place items. It could be the cans themselves. You can use flags. You can use whatever, stones, bricks as placements. And that gives you a better means of, you know, figuring out space, size, that type of thing, so that you can better assemble your bed prior to planting it. So I'll do 3 Veronica, okay, and that'll create a ring of Veronica, and then I'll go get 7 catmint. Actually, I have catmint that I can divide, but just to save time, I'll go ahead and get 7. The Shasta daisies, I'll go ahead and pick up 10, and then 10 iris. So that's what I'm about to go do right now. I'm gonna go pay Ed's a visit and see what they got to work with.
1, 8, 1, 2, 3.
Pepco is proud to partner with more than 102 local nonprofits.
When you have the lowest prices every day feels like Black Friday. That's why Bob's is unboxing incredible feature-packed power sofas, dining sets, pop-up sleepers, decor, and more.
All right, so we're over here in the perennials. There's some evergreens. We had a very windy day yesterday and last night. But over here are a lot of the perennials. They don't look the best, but a true gardener knows that these perennials will look brand new by next spring. Look at this dianthus. It's still throwing out blooms. All right, so this is where I'm gonna get my deals, all right? Most of these go for 3 for $20. Sometimes you can get even a better deal if you finesse the cashier. They know me here. All right, so let me refer back to my little diagram. I'm pretty sure as to what I want, but I may have to grab some alternatives, if you know what I mean. All right, so I spotted a Shasta daisy right here. There's another one. There's another one. Oh, there's another one. I just got to get all the weeds out of it. Not a problem. A true gardener on a budget knows how to work with that. All right, so we got 4 so far. These look like hostas. Yep, those are hostas, which I don't call for my design. There's a lot of salvia right here. All right, what do we got over here? Here's all the catmint right here. So we'll grab some catmint. Just managing my expectations, doing a scan, seeing what I actually have to choose from. Look at this over here. You got, this is called Nippon daisy. Never heard of it, but we may end up using it. All right, let's just take all of them. This one actually has a bloom. So does that one. So you have an idea what to look for. I don't see any more daisies in this row. All right, got my 7 catmint. And over here, 4 Nippon daisies. Let's read up on Nippon daisy. They look pretty. Late summer to frost. Keep deadheading them. So it grows 2 to 3 feet tall. Zones 5 to 11. All right. All right, so you get what you can get, right? You come in here and you see what deals you can find and you scoop up what you can scoop up. So what I'll do is I'll speak to the cashier or grounds person and ask them if they have some of these choice perennials in stock somewhere, maybe in the greenhouse. If they don't, you just get what you can get and you move to the next nursery. All right, so I'm back from the nursery. Clearly I didn't get everything I wanted to get. So I was able to pick up 4 Nippon daisies. Now, they're very similar to Shasta daisies, which I have, and I think it's due time for me to go ahead and divide a lot of those Shasta daisies. The difference between the two is Shasta daisies bloom earlier in the season, so late spring through midsummer, and Nippon daisies bloom midsummer to early fall. So I think that's a win-win. So I'll clump them all together, and you know, I'll put 2 nipping on one side and 2 nipping on the other side, along with probably 3 or 4 Shasta daisies with each clump. So that should be substantial. I got a lot of catmint. I got about 11 catmint. So that'll form a very nice clump in the very front of the border. The Veronica, I already showed you guys where I placed those. And let me think. I could always pick up the iris next year, right? And then I'll go ahead and divide some or transplant a bunch of stone crop, which I've been meaning to do. So yeah, it's not as easy as just buying plants and flopping them in this new bed. I'm gonna have to do some work. I'm gonna have to go ahead and divide some, which is fun. Excuse the shadows, guys. Over here, I got some Shasta daisies. Right in front of this fresh leaf pile. Right over here. I'm sure you can't really tell or differentiate what's going on here, but it's time to divide up some of these Shasta daisies. Take, for example, this clump. This is one plant. That's one plant. That can be split in half on the spot. Just get a spade, slice it right down the middle, leave a clump behind, and here's another one. That's one plant. That smells like Boomer's been doing a lot of fertilizing over here. As is that clump, and so on and so forth. Whew. So there go 2 of the nipping daisies, and I can put 3 or 4 pieces of Shasta daisy right there. That'll form a nice big clump, and the same as for this end over here. So you got 2 nipping daisies, and I'll put about 3 or 4 Shasta daisies there. So as you can see, the catmint, sorry about the shadow, guys, the catmint is really filling up the entire front of this border. So this will be active with pollinators come next spring. And behind that, you've got the Veronica. All right, I already went through those a little bit earlier before I went to Ed's Plant World. And I would say, well, I think I'll leave the Shasta daisies that far back. And in this gap right here as well, I'll go ahead and fill in with some iris next year. Or I can even split some of the iris that are behind me, in the bed behind me. So over here, where I removed a lot of the roses, see I have clumps of that iris, which I think is called versicolor. I thought I left some name tags here, but you see that's a nice sized clump, as is this one. So I can easily get 3 plants out of each clump. I gotta come in here and do some weeding too. See this clump? I mean, wow. I already see 1 plant, 2, 3. You get the idea. I have my work cut out for me. Not only do I have to divide these and place some over there in that bed, but I'm gonna have to replant the divisions over here. So that way, like I was explaining earlier, when you come into this side of the garden, through that gate, early spring, you'll have some of the iris blooming over here and some of the iris blooming in that bed over there. All right, so here goes a dry lay of the border. So this pineapple right here, which I got from Massarelli, it's out of New Jersey. I got the Roman statue, that plinth that it's standing on top of, that it's sitting on top of. So I wanted to make sure it was centered in between this pergola right here. Scale is very important. Position and scale is very important when you're adding a sculptural element or a hardscape element to a plant bed or a garden. So I was playing around with its position. I think it will be a nice addition to this garden bed. It elevates the garden bed. I was looking at it from all angles, and let me bring you guys in a little closer to see the detail of this pineapple. It has, it's a Roman design, right? It's an Italian design, and it's very detailed, right? From that band down in the middle, and it has a substantial base. And I was lucky that it matched the plinth that it's sitting on.